Hi, everyone, and welcome to Book Club with Bay. I am Bay, and this is Bay. Say hi, Bay.
Hi, Bay.
And this is Other Bay. Say hi, Bay.
Hello.
And today we are talking about Betrayals, the second book in the Strange Angels series by Lily St. Crow.
Accurate. All accurate information.
Yeah.
Yes.
2 of 5. Not halfway done. What a bummer.
Especially because, like, at the end of this book, we're almost in the exact same place we were at the beginning of the book.
Yeah. So when I think
It
back,
feels a little bit House of Nighty in that sense.
See, when I think back on the series, like I think I combined multiple books together into like one book because I'm like, no, a lot more has definitely happened by now. And I'm like, no, we're still trucking. But I mean, they are short books. I have it with me because I went and got my physical copies from middle school. But like,
they're about 10 hours audio book.
290 pages.
They feel long as fuck.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it felt like its length to me when I was reading it.
It does not go by fast. So we'll start with ratings. I'm going to go with uncooked pasta because it's a whole lot of nothing. So,
my theory is wanting to influence my rating, and I can't let it because it hasn't been confirmed yet.
What is the theory? I can confirm or deny said theory.
Okay.
Oh, real quick before we get into confirming and denying said theories.
Oh yes, thank you.
Spoilers ahead for a book series you probably shouldn't read.
That's been out for a decade.
It's been out for a decade. It's been out so long that it was supposedly okay to call mixed race people half-breeds in the first book.
But she didn't this book at all.
That's why I said the first book.
She got better.
It's been out that long, so spoilers for that. This is Book Club with Bay, not spoiler-free book review with Bay. So spoilers ahead. Continue with your theories.
Okay, so as soon as we met this character, I believe 100% that this person is the traitor. And as soon as this person started talking, I suspected their motivation. And then as soon as we had Drew's internal dialogue on what she thinks of this person, that had made me 98% sure of the motivation too. Ready? I think it is Milady. Anna, whatever the fuck her name was.
Anna.
And I think her motivation is she likes being the only girl.
I don't remember. I can't confirm or deny that because I don't remember anything about her. I forgot until I read her and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I think that she is an antagonist. I think she's the traitor and behind Drew's mother being killed and the attacks against Drew.
Yeah, I don't remember. I can't confirm it. We'll have to figure it out.
I think it's purely out of jealousy. And if I am correct, this is where the using House of Night as an example comes into play. Because Drew doesn't have nice things to think about her. She goes. Yeah. She looks like if she was human, she would be an obese Karen who gets very upset every time her boyfriend looks at. Breathes the same air as another woman.
Yeah. I mean, at least you have a positive reaction towards her, and then if things go negative.
If this is going to be if I'm correct, at least that she is an antagonist, not even the motivation part, but if I'm correct that she's the antagonist, then at least House of Night, for the first part of the first book, made us think that Nephra was a goodie. So then when we found out she was a baddie, also in the first book though, unfortunately, it was kind of like a no way moment instead of a yeah, I saw that coming.
I will say one thing that this hurts my sorry, this is really hard to get out. What all right, you can do it, SDA. One thing House of Night did well, I did it. Okay, was they didn't foreshadow Nephra too hard.
Even though we found out in the first book of a 14-book series that
right, but at the same time, like if you look at Marked by itself, Marked on its own is a mediocre YA novel, and it's fine. It's shitty, but it's fine.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's the way that Nefret's done is fun. In that book, Marked by itself, it's fine.
we forget everything else that ever happened.
If there was never another book.
Also, in Betrayed isn't too bad as well. Like, don't get it's not. There's no hardcore evidence in Marks that she is bad. There's just supposition, which is very shady. But it's like this could still turn around. You know, we still have that feeling through Betrayed. It could still turn around until the end, and then you're like, no, it can't turn around.
And then Laurent Blake happened, and then
everything went off the rails. But I think had we moved all of the Nefret starting to be bad to Betrayed, it would have been better.
Oh, if you'd moved it, especially in a series that long, they should have.
But I mean,
moved it down the line a little bit.
I don't know at the time if they even knew how long the series was going to be. I highly doubt that they did.
Probably not.
But so if we ignore all of those ifs, ands, or whatevers, and we're just looking at it on the surface and just taking Marked, and we could pretend that Marked is a standalone. Oh God, what a world that would be!
Be a good world.
It would be a great world. So if Marked was a standalone, it's done in a way that works because as a twist villain in Marked, Nefret works just simply because you don't see it coming.
When the twist happens, you're like,
yeah.
Not like, oh yeah, it's about freaking time.
And it actually has some like meaning to Zoe because Zoe doesn't have a good mom figure. So like there's personal betrayal there. So it's actually like well done. And then
I don't know what happened with House of Night, honestly. They started off okay.
On the lower end of mediocre.
Yeah, they started off okay. I can't give it any more than that. Okay.
Marked is like if you
goes like this, it goes across to Chosen like that, and then
then it jumps off a cliff.
Yeah, as soon as her friends are like, "Oh, if we had known Laurent was just using you, we wouldn't have been mad at you for being a bitch
and a whore."
Yeah, like as soon as that started happening, it just went downhill.
And like, for example, if with Marked, if we existed in a world where Marked was a standalone and it had a good editor, it could have been an all right YA book. It could have been okay-ish, you know, like if somebody else had fixed the everything. But then also Addie and I, last time I was there, we found a bunch of interviews with PC Cast.
Yeah, we fucking did.
And
I think I mentioned this slightly on the last time that we all spoke because I was like, by the way, the book has been pushed up.
Yeah, and so we listened to these interviews and we listened to PC Cast talk about Laurent Blake and look,
oh my God.
I know that this is not a stream about this.
But we have to talk about it.
But we have to talk about this because I have some things to say about what was said.
Club of the Bay is always, like, on bad weeks, is always underlying actually about House of Night.
Oh, it's also underlying about House of Night on Good Book Week. Like, we never shut the fuck up.
Like, we're a House of Night stream.
Okay.
Hello.
I feel like, honestly, we have two series that we always go back to. Like
Mercy
and House of Night.
Also, I think just because of the references, Jenny's Agape Moo. Yeah, it's just because of the references.
Honestly, I really hope one day we come.
Sorry, there's a slug. I need to go kill it. Keep talking.
Okay, one day we need to come across like another
staple
so bad
series.
It's actually really good and just something that actually becomes a staple. Yeah, like you just said. But so in this interview, it was so interesting because PC Cast was like, you know, even to this day, there are young girls who are like in love with Laurent Blake. And the thing is, as a 16, no, I was younger than that. I had to have been 13, 14.
Yeah, we were.
When I was reading it, I was also into Lauren Blake as a 13-year-old because that's how he was written.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
wasn't-
It's like, if you don't
It
want
was
young girls to
seductive.
get him,
They were
don't write him like that.
Yeah, they were like he's a meanie bo beanie. I was like, well, that's not how you wrote him.
Yeah,
That's not
she's
how
like
you
he's a
wrote him at
predator,
all.
and people being attracted to him is just disgusting to me. And it's like,
If you wanted to also then, because obviously they had to write him in some sort of seductive way so Zoe would bang him. Obviously, that's fine. But if you didn't want people to still have like the feels, for Lauren after it's all out in the open, maybe give him more time to be a dick openly.
Right.
or you'd off him, or
Because
have
when
Zoe.
Sorry.
Because when Zoe walks in and hears the conversation between him and Neferet,
Mhm.
like, yeah, he's like, "Mwahaha, our plan is doing a work," type thing. But he's also like, "But we did do an imprint. That was kind of interesting." And there was like that kind of feel to the conversation where he might not end up so bad.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Like,
And then he dies.
right. Like he
Yeah, there's
doesn't
no
actually
resolution
have
there.
time to in text become a manipulative bastard. And here's the other problem. Okay. The issue with how they wrote it, at least when your target audience is that young, is the age that they made him, right? Because they make him 21, 22, I believe.
Something like that, yeah.
And to someone who is 13,
25.
We never know for sure. That's the
Okay.
thing, is we never know for sure.
Early to mid-20s.
Yeah, mid to early, like between 20 and 25, we can say.
but the problem with that is that if he is, I think he's 21, because I know he's older than Eric, but Eric is 19. So
But Aphrodite is 21.
I'm just gonna do a Google.
she's 21 by the end of the series. So I forget how old he is.
We're on Blake, 24.
Oh, okay.
That is on the House of Night wiki. I
I
think.
don't remember him being that old in
I'm
text.
pretty sure it's mentioned when they're like, "Oh, who's that?" And they're like, "It's Lauren. He's 24, and not just in looks, in actual years." Like they do definitively state his age.
But I think I think while it's happening, they say they're not explicit about it. And the problem with that is that when you just say early 20s, that's not old enough for any like young girl to be
go
like
to
creepy, okay? Because you don't
teenage girls fangirl over guys in their early 20s all the time.
Yeah.
exactly. And as a teenager, it just doesn't sink into your brain until you are in your early 20s how fucking weird that would be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just can't. It just cannot. Just because you're like, no, that would be fine, and then you get there and you're like, that would not be fine. Oh my god. So that's the other issue, is like his age, and so it's like you didn't make him creepy. You didn't make him manipulative in text, other than the fact that we as adults know it's manipulative, but reading it as a child, you don't know it's manipulative because you're being manipulated by,
How old is Zoe?
16.
She just turned 17 in like part 2, right? Season 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, she turns 18. She turns 18 in part 2.
Yes.
She turns 17. She turns
There you go.
17 in the 4th book.
At least she's a legal adult finally, I guess. Fuck.
Yes. But so when PC Cast is raging about people thinking he's attractive and all that kind of stuff, it's like you wrote him as
The most
you wrote him as the most attractive man in the series.
And you also didn't give, because Zoe doesn't process much of anything, you didn't give the reader and Zoe enough time to process the fact that she was, what is being so he was a predator towards her. Like, what would hurt? She was preyed upon. That's it.
Yes, there it is.
Preyed upon by him. Like, and she doesn't get to realize that because he's dead, and then the whole series kicks off.
And this is one of those things that it's like, if you're gonna go down this route and you're gonna talk to teenage girls about this, which I think is a worthwhile conversation for anybody but PC and Kristen Cast to have with people.
As we discussed thoroughly, especially in Nefert's Curse.
Yeah.
Yeah, They should not be exploring the deep topics.
No, they
No.
shouldn't.
Ever.
I think it's a worthwhile discussion to have, but if you're going to do it, you need to commit. And also, like I've said this before, I'm not somebody who's a think of the children kind of person, but with these topics, if you're writing in YA, you have to think of the children.
Yeah,
And you have to think, you have to think about what you're doing. When you're writing for adults, in my opinion, all bets are off. You can do whatever the hell you want. You can even ride the line and send a message by portraying it the way that they did, because honestly, as an adult, you can look at that critically and you can be like, that's interesting, but they did it by accident, so it's completely different. But when you're talking to kids about it, and I'm sorry, even if you're 18, you're still a kid. Your brain is still developing, and you're still susceptible to that kind of manipulation. I mean, everybody is, but especially children. And
in high school age, you're more prone to being manipulated.
For sure. So if they're going to have that conversation, fucking commit.
Yeah, and
spend time on it.
Like, we should have had another book between her finding out that and him
croaking.
being beheaded.
Yeah.
Like, because then we would have been able to see from the perspective that he's just using her, the Neferet thing, and how he interacts with her through that and tries to fuck with her head and get back into her phrases, etc.
Right. Because that's the other problem. Like, of course, girls are in love with him. We don't ever see him. And I say
really
this.
Be an asshole.
Right. Then I'll say that. Like, I won't say we don't see him manipulate her in a way that reads as manipulation.
Yeah.
To a teenage girl.
Yeah.
To adults, of course, you're going to be
like when I was rereading it over the summer to like prepare to join the stream, I was like, this is like creepy. He's leaving like poems in her locker. This is weird. Like, he's a
Especially because they were haiku.
Yes, but as a
fucking haiku,
and he's writing freaking haiku in every book.
But as a teenager, you're like, oh my god, You're like, and it's not even about the poetry. You're just like attention from a guy who's like hot and oh my god.
And it goes more than buying a bunch of flowers too, because he actually put the time and thought and effort into making something just for her.
And you don't give it any time to like go sour.
No, you just kill the man.
Yeah, no, it should have been like him, like being like, I want nothing to do with you. I'm sorry, Zoe. Please, I love you. And her being like, and then her accepting him, but then her feeling him because they're imprinted, so she can feel what he's feeling.
And she can feel when he's probably fucking Neferet.
Yes, and so then it'll be like this book of like really weird. I don't know what to believe. Zoe goes a little bit crazy. She finally goes, "No, you're a jerk. I hate you." And then he realizes, "No, I'm in love with you. I don't want anything to do with Neferet," and then Neferet kills him.
Yeah.
That's how it should have gone. That changed my mind.
I know, I completely agree. But, that would have required writing, character development from literally everybody, complex social situations where people had to react to things and they had to all grow up really fast. I mean, so much would have had to happen, and
Soul of the Dragon just made a good point in YouTube chat. He asked, why wasn't Laurent just another student?
Because I actually no. It would have even played to Neferet being like the fucking nympho that they turn her into as well, that she's banging a student.
Yeah. And he could be Eric's age, the hottest, like even hotter than Eric.
But remember, Eric made her feel warm and safe and gooey, whereas Laurent made her feel like a woman. Every single time she said that, Shania Twain just kind of blast. But Shania Twain would blast through my head every single time she would say that he makes me feel like a woman.
Okay.
Okay, back to the book at hand.
Yep. Because we could rant about House of Night for probably 8 hours straight.
Well, look, like I said, the only reason why we're talking about this is just because listening to PC Cast be all high and mighty about something that's her fault was infuriating. Because the thing is, and I'm sorry, I know we have a book to talk about.
No.
But this is something I have to get out. It's gaslighting, actually, because what you're doing is you're saying if you found Laurent attractive as a 13-year-old because I wrote him that way, it's your fault, not mine, but it's your fault. And that's gaslighting. Fuck off. Bye. I'd love to be in the same room as PC Cast. Oh my God, I just want to have a
one day.
So are you going on the record and calling PC Cast psychologically abusive?
Yes. Absolutely.
You heard it here first. Actually, you probably heard it here for the 100th time.
I'm saying anybody that would write that and then get mad at teenage girls for finding an attractive character attractive is fucking dumb and is a fucking idiot and has no one to blame but themselves. And also, that's something we like to call gaslighting. It's also something you could have had Laurent do to Zoe, but you fucking didn't.
No, instead Zoe spends the entire series gaslighting Eric.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever put it in those terms before, but she does.
Yeah.
Could have just made Jinx bark. But that was another thing she said. She talked about Eric.
Yo, she did. He's such a bad person. I mean, he gets better, but like, he's such a bad person. And he was just so controlling over Zoe. And she and I were sitting here and we just both screamed. For what? Not wanting her to fuck other people? That's abusive. That's manipulative to say, hi, you're my girlfriend. We're an exclusive 2-person relationship. Please do not fuck someone else. And what does she do?
So,
everything
confirmation from the cast.
But by the end, though, right? By the end, though, Stark, like when Aurochs comes, like when it comes out that Aurochs is Heath, and Stark's like, hey, I'm not really comfortable with you going and banging an Aurochs.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's fair.
Yeah.
What is different?
Nothing. Nothing's different. It's still, please don't fuck Heath. That's literally just, it's the same thing.
What is different about the two? Like, Stark and Eric both said, hey, Zoe.
Can we please be monogamous?
Being monogamous. If that's cool with you, I would appreciate you not wetting other guys' dicks. Cool? Like, they both did it, but Eric's a bad guy because of it, and Stark's romantic.
Well, and the thing is, like, Eric actually got cheated on.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Stark ever was actually, like, formally cheated on.
No, and before Heath did a dead, they both knew of each other. They both entered the relationship. Well, Heath didn't. I guess Heath was probably...
Stark entered the relationship saying, hey, I know you have this thing with Heath. I'm willing to be a cuckold, man. I get it. I'm the new person. Like...
Yeah. Like... But then after Heath and then comes back, he's like, hey, can you not restart something? Cause
yeah. We've been together for, a whole 2 weeks now. I've been your guardian for 7 days, and that's a lifelong commitment.
Yes.
Yeah, I made a lifelong commitment after 24 hours.
Yeah, who the fuck? Like, he had known Zoe. He had literally spent all of it, like, what, 40 minutes with Zoe at most? And
before he died, yes.
No, not even before he died. He met her for like 2 minutes in the cafeteria, and then they spoke for 5 minutes in the thing.
And then he died in her arms.
And then he died, and he's like, but I love you, like, as he's dying. And it's like, wait, what? No.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, that's my soulmate. And I'm like, I love Stark, but why?
And then between him being resurrected and coming and then pledging himself to it, they'd spent at most another half an hour together, maybe about another 15 minutes. So he'd spent 15 minutes with her, and vampires live a long time. They live hundreds and hundreds of years. And he pledged himself for like 500 plus years to a girl he'd spent half an hour with.
And that's House of Night, ladies and gentlemen. We're not even talking about House of Night, but we have been for 25 minutes. I love it. No, can y'all imagine, though, when the final House of Night book comes out in July?
Dude.
We're going to need all of the boozer hole.
We're all gonna need to be drunk, and we're all going to have to, like, set aside 5 hours.
I'm pulling the Trump back out. I'm pulling the Trump card back out because, you know, when we want to make Tulsa strong again, we need the Trump cup.
Make Tulsa strong again. Oh my god.
I don't have the corona. I just coughed because of vape. By the way, we're all social distancing because we're all many miles apart, but I just wanted everyone to know.
And also, my lifestyle like is inherently social distancing because I almost never leave the house, so I'm good. I'm good, fam.
We all inherently social distance.
Yeah, it's like in like the memes about like introverts preparing their whole lives for this.
Hey yo, we win. We're so good at this quarantine thing, we didn't even have to do anything different.
Soul of the Dragon, please do not speak that into existence. We do not want another series after this one because we know what it would be about, and it would be about Grandma Redbird, and we would all die.
Yes, please don't.
I hope she doesn't do it. Okay.
It would be like Otherworld, Nefret versus Grandma Redbird. Fight.
Kill me. Kill me now.
I just can't believe that they did like another series. A whole nother series.
At least it's only 4 books.
And Nefret was still the bad guy.
At least it's only 4 books.
I would love to know why they're so uncreative.
And Zoe only gives a fuck about one of her siblings, and one of them who's not even technically biologically related to her because he's from another universe. But otherwise, fuck her siblings.
Yeah.
Amen.
And also, I'm still triggered by the fact that they used the descriptor for Zoe's sister from the first book and then turned it into her name.
Yep.
She was referred to as a Barbie in the first book, right?
What was her name in the first book?
No,
She
there
didn't have
wasn't.
a name.
Oh.
Yeah, she did. They never gave her a name until they decided, oh well, that'll do, and called her Barbie.
And then he, like fell in love with Aphrodite, and Aphrodite somehow reciprocated, even in like our world. And then the other world, they fell in love after 2 days. It's great. It's great. You guys should go watch on YouTube our House of Night Otherworld.
Even though canonically the Otherworld people and our people are not the same people, but Other Jack and Damien got together immediately, and they're acting like Other Jack is the same.
And Other Damien aren't like
different people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking bizarre.
I still hope that Stark and Other Stark, because they will confirmed meet. PC Cast in the interview we listened to confirmed they will meet.
I want them to ride off into the sunset together.
Yes. And apparently our Stark gives Other Stark a talking to. That's all we know.
Yes, because Al Stark has confirmed that Zoe banging Other Stark will be cheating.
My question is like, Stark doesn't need a talking. Like, if the talking to is anything but run, that's
never get near a woman named Zoe fucking Redbird.
Be grateful your Zoe's dead, Other Stark. Be grateful she's dead.
Because the only person in this series that needs a talking to is fucking Zoe.
Yeah.
Amen.
Okay, 30 minutes later, this book.
Okay, yes, this book.
Are there any characters we need to discuss?
There's the new Wolfie Boys, but I just refer to them as Wolfie Boys because they're always together. I think their names are like Shanks and Dibs, but they're always together, so it doesn't matter.
Those ones are Wolfen, they're not part Wolfen, yeah. Oh, also, before we get into the characters, I actually found a species glossary for the book because we hear werewolves, we hear Wolfen, we hear what the other thing, all that stuff, and I'm like, are there 3 kinds of werewolves? No, there's only 2.
They started also referring to vampires as vampires, I think. They started spelling it with a W in the book. I'll try to find it. No, it was towards the end.
Okay.
Vampires.
Yeah, I was really confused.
Nobody read it out loud like that. Also, the narrator's still fucking weird.
Yes. Yeah. She pronounces a lot of words weird. Like there's no Muzak this book, thank goodness, but there's Satine instead of Satin.
Oh, was that what that was?
Satin. That was Saturn.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay,
I think
but
Dylan says it. Keep going. I'm just gonna find this.
This would be so much easier if you had the ebook.
Yeah, but the ebooks. I want to talk about it, man.
Okay.
I want to talk about
Okay,
it.
so on the canine side of things, we have the wolfen, aka werewolves. They can be born or made, and they hate the Nosferatu, which is the technical name for vampires in this series. Then there are the Lugurus, whatever the fuck, and they are what Graves is, which is like someone who's been bitten by a werewolf, but they're still a virgin, but the werewolf's strong enough to still make them partly painted. So when they transform into a werewolf, they are smaller than your average wolfen. They're kind of like Blade, where they have all of their strengths and none of their weaknesses, but in wolves, not vampires. And they can speak when in wolf form, and they can control themselves in wolf form.
And don't they also not go full hair boy? They go like partly hair boy.
Yeah, their wolves are kind of when they turn, it's like a half wolf instead of a full wolf. Then we have the Nosferatu, who
Like
are
in Harry
the
Potter.
vampires.
Which one of them was the weird looking in Harry Potter? Which there was Sirius Black,
Lupin.
who was the full, yeah, Lupin. That's how I imagine him.
Yeah. Then there's the Nosferatu, who are the vampires. Their fangs reach down to their chins.
Which is a thing.
Yep, they are only slightly more powerful than the Dampiers or Dampires, whatever the fuck, the half things. Oh, sorry, the 1/16 things. And they can do necromancy and make zombies. And then there are I don't know, I can't remember how the narrator says it, but we'll just call them Dampiers because that's what they're called in Vampire Academy. They're half a male vampire fucks a human woman and has a baby, and you get a Dampier, but they're only genetically 1/16 vampire, and no matter how many generations down the line you go, they will always be 1/16.
Ah, I found it.
Yeah.
Where is it? Hang on. Okay.
Okay.
Who says it? I think this is when she's like half like passed out. So like I don't know who actually says it. Yeah, it doesn't like you don't actually know who says it. It's either Dibs or Shanks that says it.
Okay. And their fangs only reach their bottom lip. When they get the aspect, which is when they like get their vampy face on, their fangs grow, the hair either gets lighter or darker. And there's that. And then there's the Svetolja, which is the girl Dampiers.
Which is Drew.
So only like one in 1,000 half-breed babies are born female, and then most of them are killed before they actually like bloom, which in male version is drifting. Yeah, male drifting is the boys drift and the girls bloom. And until they bloom, their blood is like an aphrodisiac to the males, and it also makes the vampires really, really powerful. And then once they bloom, just their mere presence is toxic for vampires.
Yeah. Yeah, see, the way I remember this book was that she bloomed in this book. So I think I'm just combining books in my brain because I was like, oh no, she'll die. Like she's gonna bloom. She
blooms at the end, doesn't she? I thought she does.
No.
Okay.
I guess she blooms in what's the next book? Fucking Jealousy. Oh, I remember fucking hating Jealousy.
Okay, so she's in her pre-blooming. stage. Like the blooming process has started, but she hasn't actually bloomed because she started to get the blood hunger in this book.
Yes.
And then there's
This is
burners,
close.
which are Wolfen or Nosferatu that have the ability to set themselves on fire.
There's also Brokens.
And then there's Brokens, which are effectively werewolves that have been tortured by Nosferatu into becoming like their little pets.
Yeah, and they're permanently wolf form, but it can be reversed. Because again, I thought so much more happened in this book. Anyways,
So that's the species
Vampire
of the
Diaries.
series.
Sorry.
the Vampire Diaries. Yes, that's why I was like, "What is this?" I was like, "I must mention this."
So yeah, that is the species of the book. So there's your werewolves, your kind of half werewolves, your vampires, your kind of half vampires, but the girls and boys have different rules, and then there's subcategories of the two full breeds.
Yep.
And there's that. There's too many.
There is a lot. There's a lot.
And it would also kind of make me a little bit happy if they stuck to like the one term for each thing, because for the wolfen they interchange wolfen and werewolf repeatedly, which kind of leaves you thinking, is there three? But
Yeah.
there's the lip gurus. Oh, because also like the lip gurus are kind of like treated like werewolf royalty because they don't have any of the weaknesses of the other werewolves.
They also can command other werewolves. We see Graves do that a few times in this book.
Yeah, but he's dominant. It's been established that he's a dom.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say no. He's not. He's a dom.
Yeah, he's got his big boy pants on, and he's hot now apparently. Because at some point in this book, Drew's like, "Oh shit, wait, no, he's fucking hot. Oh god."
Yeah, well, yeah. She goes. I used to think of him as half ugly, but he's only like a quarter ugly now, I guess.
And then there's one sentence. It's at a really inappropriate location, tonally, where she's just like, "Who was I kidding? He was already handsome," or something like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Drew, now's not the time to realize you have a hard on for Graves, even though you realized you had a hard on for Graves early on in the book, and then you just ignored it and whatever."
Yeah.
Graves is who I love.
Yep. So also, effectively, the wolfen, the Liquorus, so they're the two werewolf species, and the Dampiers and the Svetoljas, they all hate the Nosferatu. So even the half vampires hate the vampires.
Yep.
Which makes no sense to me, but I guess. Okay.
I think it's just the ones we see in the order. That might be it. Because we're only around order boys.
Maybe. I don't know.
We'll find out.
Anyway, I guess we should. Yes, her characters. That's right. So there's like Graves' new little wolfie gang.
Yeah. Shanks and Dibs.
Is it Dylan?
Dylan's the like headmaster ?
Yeah, he's like
I think that's his role.
Of the scholar. He is a Dampier. Yeah.
I think so.
I think so too. Well, it's not Wolfen because the Wolfen don't like him.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing he's a Dampier.
I think that those are like the.
And then there's not really a whole ton of new characters. There's Blondie, who is a teacher.
He's a teacher. He's mentioned. We see him like twice.
But he's the only teacher that treats Drew not like she needs to be wrapped in cotton wool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we should also talk about Ash.
Oh, the wolf that turned Graves.
Yeah.
Yes, he's
back.
in this book. Yeah,
so
he's
broken.
around for a while. I remember that much.
Yeah, he's broken.
Poor guy.
That's how we learn what a broken is, and he's the last of his wolf kind. The silver tops.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of like Graves' daddy, which is very interesting. He's his wolf daddy. Okay, so I guess we can just hop right in.
Into plot.
So
Yes.
the prologue, yeah, it starts out with the last book ends, where we get to the new place, and we are the only girl at this school because I mean, we don't really talk a lot about girl werewolves.
Yeah, it's just said that the boys get sent off to school and the girls are
Yeah.
taught at home.
Yeah,
So I guess it's like school aristocratic England.
yeah. And so it's all guys at the school because obviously there's not a lot of female vampires in the order, because there's only one type that you can be, and the other one that we knew prior to this book is dead, aka Drew's mom.
Yeah. And then it's established later that Drew is the first one that they've saved in 60 years.
Yes. So she's a rare. She's a rare item. And then so she just goes to sleep at the end of the prologue. There you go.
Yep.
God.
And then it's a week later.
Yeah, we start out in the middle of a sparring match. And Graves, the overprotective little wolf man he is, comes and helps her fight, and it's always very adorable.
Yeah, but but her nose gets broken or something, and she bleeds, and then all the boys try and rape her.
Oh, not that.
I don't actually know what happens. They all try and jump her.
Yes, so because the blood is like an that's it sends him into a frenzy. So one of the guys, the guy that she's sparring with, says, "Get her out of here." And Dylan comes in and he's like, "Get her out of here, get her out of here." And Graves just chucks her into a hallway.
Yep, and then she gets massively lectured once her nose stops bleeding. And they're like, "How could you? You know better. You know your blood is bad until you do a thing."
Yeah, and then we have an exposition chapter, just here's an update. We've been here for a minute. Here's what we're learning. Here's what we're doing at school. Graves has a posse. It's great. Yay.
Yeah.
Just here's where we are.
Honestly, I will say, so we can mostly skip over this, 80% of this book is Drew inside of her own head for starters. We go through a chapter without any dialogue. We're just in Drew's head the whole time. It's
but it's her finally processing the fact that her dad's dead. I remember that chapter.
Yeah.
But the whole 80% of this book is Drew saying, "I want to be treated like an adult," and that's 80% of this book. Drew thinking, "Stop putting me in kindergarten."
Yeah.
That, and is Kristoff hot?
Yeah, is Kristoff have a hard on for Kristoff? Which one do I have a hard on for, etc.
I think she knows. She always kind of knows that at least she has the feels for Graves. She always has the feels for Graves. It's just her trying to figure out if she has a hard on. The game Fuck, Marry, Kill. If you get rid of Kill, she wants to just fuck Kristoff and marry Graves. That's it. That's what she wants. She just.
But we have to sit here and listen to it the entire time
because I'm pretty sure that's all that. I think Jealousy, the next book, I think that's what most of the book is, if I remember correctly. Because I remember being pissed off most of the time. Because it's also Kristoff on the cover of it, and Kristoff's holding her, and I'm like, "Fuck off, apple bitch."
So she gets her lecture, then we get the exposition of where we're at, and then what happens.
I wrote down, "Good to know Graves is hot now." She's just feeling this is point. Why am I here? I didn't none of us thought we were going to be sent here. We're all confused, all that good stuff. And we talk with Graves. The wolves like to tease Graves because they know that Graves has a crush on her, and it's really funny.
Yeah. At some point, and I think it's relatively early in the book, I just can't remember when exactly, someone decides to come and sit and have lunch with her in the cafe.
Dibs. I love Dibs. He's so precious. Yes.
And then he's just and she's like, "Why are you talking to me?" He's like, "It was a dare, plus I'm a sub." And she's like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, Graves is a dom." And she's like, "When did we enter a BDSM club?" He's like, "It's a wolf thing. What's wrong with you? How do you not know this?" And even I'm partly how do you not know this? Everyone knows that
There's a
Dogs
hierarchy.
have a hierarchy, and wolves and canids, and dogs are canids, and werewolves obviously have hierarchy. It's in every single fictional lore of werewolves. I've yet to find a werewolf lore that does not have a hierarchy. Sorry, I'm done.
No, you're good.
Yes, no, it's especially with someone that had as much knowledge as she did. She
Yeah.
should have known that. And then
Researcher, like, just ask her. She does all the research. She's so good at it. Just ask her. She tells us about 50 times in this book.
tap tap tap. Kristoff is back.
Can I just in the audiobook?
Tapping started. I was triggered.
God, the tapping is horrible.
Yeah, it's much better to
Tap,
read it.
tap, 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 tap. Everybody.
So I have carpal tunnel check, and I'm dying currently. Don't know what I did to trigger it this time. I've just been existing, and here we are today. Yeah. So no, actually.
Quick tangent. I had the funniest audio yesterday from an Australian uni lecture, because you know how like lecturers record their lectures and then put them online for the class and everything. Well, this bit didn't get edited out. The teacher caught someone receiving a hand job.
Dude, I'm loving all of these videos of like online lectures now, since all of America has essentially moved to online classes.
No,
There's like I have seen multiple
this
videos.
happened in the lecture hall. It wasn't online. It was in the lecture hall.
That's scandalous.
While you find that, there's multiple videos going around of like people, like couples that are in classes together getting into fights, like forgetting to mute themselves. It's comedy. I'm not mad. Forgetting to mute themselves and like fighting, and like one person was like, "You could be getting your dick sucked right now, but no," and the professor just kicks them out. I really want one of my classes to go online.
Like really? You really got to phrase when I try and paste? Really?
Yes.
There we go. It is in the YouTube chat for anyone in there. It is in our side chat, and it is in the Twitch chat.
I really, really like how the headline is "Lecturer University Hand Job." Or just like that's
a web link.
I'm sorry, guys. This is important.
This is important.
There's
Everyone read this.
Do you want me to just play the audio? It's a couple minutes long.
Yeah, go for
Let's
it.
just go. We're on tangents.
Wait, give me a second. I'm going to open it on my phone.
This book is so interesting that this is what we're doing.
Well, hey, this is important. This is culturally relevant right now. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you this before stream, TJ. My school's moved online the rest of the semester. The rest of the semester, which means I don't know what's going to happen to the kids that are supposed to graduate right now, because they're supposed to be hanging. I'm getting my MFA in studio art, for everyone who doesn't know. That means the kids that are supposed to put on their thesis shows, they can't because the university is closed.
Okay.
It's great. Great, guys.
I love you all, but give me one sec. We're gonna have to talk now. Jesus. All right. So I know that precedent is a very sexy topic, and I know that I love it when my audiences are excited and animated and engaged. Dear Lord. But there's a limit to that, and ironically, it's the law students and the student code of conduct that governs that. So that being said, dear Lord, if you'd like to have special love time with your partner, if you'd like to spend time with your partner, there are some perfectly sanitized and malleable beanbags over at Muse, and I'm sure that there's an empty cinema around here still trying to make the movie Cats work. It's empty. Go for your life. But, and this is the second time I'm saying this in my career, no below the belt touching in my lecture theatre, please. I'm not going to name and shame.
Jesus Christ.
Right, we're still on. Just to qualify, this is a mentoring unit, so I will give some sort of mentorship here. Advice. The strategic placement of the hoodie on the lap only draws the eye more. And, and I just mind that. Okay, I'm going to put my hands away, I'm not going to mind that. I said before that I was glad that they kept the university open today. I don't know.
And that's where it cuts off.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, what was the first time? I would like to hear the story of the first time.
I know, I don't think that's
relationship advice from book club with Bay.
Don't give hand jobs
in a lecture. Go somewhere else. Okay.
Yeah, relationship. That's not the time, nor is it the place.
Learn.
Yeah,
5 days to learn in that class.
Yeah,
learn.
when you were getting your law degree and are studying precedents, that is not the best place to be getting. Even though precedents apparently is a very sexy topic.
Well.
But yeah, so that's happened.
You know, like bring Boozahall to class like a normal person. Like what the hell?
Okay. Anyways, tap. Kristoff is back. And I want death. They start sparring for no reason because that's their thing. And he reveals that we all were, meeting him and Dylan and a bunch of other people. We gonna get a guess of his age now. That we all were in love with Drew's mother. What?
Well, didn't she say how old are you? And he goes, not much older than you. We find out from Anna that he was born before World War One.
Yes.
Yeah, but when she asks him how old are you, he says not much older than you. He straight up lies to her to get into her pants.
Do you see why I fucking hate Kristoff? Anyways, and that and the My Little Bird shit, I want to stab him in the throat every time he says it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Sorry.
What?
The text comment?
Check Your Logic thought it was me talking in that video. In that audio.
It was a similar voice to you, I will say.
Was it?
Come on. I'll allow you to come sit with me. Come on.
At least
Get on
over
camera.
audio, yes.
Yes. All right, there we go. Yay. Are you
Addie,
happy now?
I'm sorry. I've just been distracted this whole time trying to figure it out. What nail polish do you have on?
I have one of the... We're just going to keep taking brief intermissions, guys.
I'm sorry.
Here it is. Do I have it?
Intermission.
Where the fuck? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I have this one on, the Confetti Party one. Confetti Dreams.
Okay, that's what I thought.
With Flaky over it. I have my Flaky Hollow Taco. And then I have Royal Tea Blue with Linear Hollow Taco.
Okay.
Welcome.
Book Club with Bay.
Book Club with Bay.
Bay,
Cassie,
you need to get into nail polish now.
Then we can all put on our nail pens during stream and it'll be great. Royal. Oh, here, I'll show you what it is.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, Royal Tea.
Because the creator, my fucking lord, can I help you? Because the owner of the company, Hollow Taco, really likes tea. She's a YouTuber, Simply Illogical. Anyways, I need you to leave, dog. Like, you are making biscuits right on my body, and this is not a fixture. Thank you very much.
But babe,
No.
this is gonna be required now.
No, ma'am. Please don't put your butt on my body.
Well,
Thank
I guess
you.
now that I've stopped biting my nails, like they're actually long enough to polish.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
All nails are long enough to
No,
polish.
ma'am.
Babe.
No, ma'am. You know what no means. Just
I'll
because I'm
send you-
on camera.
I'll send you the video that she showed me that fixed
converted
me.
her.
Okay.
Like,
Because now I have issues.
I have long nails now. For the
Are they
first
your
time in
natural
my life.
nails?
Yeah.
Good job.
This hand's the bum
That's
hand.
more
We don't look at
patronizing
this
than I
hand.
meant it to.
No, it is genuinely a good job because I've bitten my nails ever since I was born.
Yeah, I stopped biting my nails when I was cleaning out my parents' shed last August, and then about a month ago I started again, and I stopped about a week and a half later.
Because now I want, because I like having long nails, but I hate getting my nails done. And I was talking to her about it, and she was like, "Boy, do I have a thing for you to look at?" And then,
Just grow your nail.
and now I have issues because now I'm like obsessed with taking care of my nails. And now I have one good finger.
Yeah, it helps at the moment as well because I've been taking some supplements that help bone stuff. Because I guess I'm getting to the age where I need to start worrying about my bone density. And luckily for me, bone density supplements also help your nails and your hair. My hair has been growing. It needs a trim to even out the ends because they're a bit scraggly at the moment. But my hair's been growing faster. My nails are growing stronger. So I'm good.
I'll send you the video after the stream.
Okay. Oh,
All three of us
another
have to
thing-
be on the same page. Okay, we have to
another-
match.
We've got another thing about your Addie.
Yes.
She's got carpal tunnel and it's having a flare up.
Yeah.
We love it, especially
right.
when I'm an artist and a writer.
It's great
Yeah.
when you have to type so much and you can't.
And write so much and just paint, and it's great. Okay.
So we're
tap,
all
tap,
in love with
Christoph.
Kristoff equally.
Pardon?
We're all in love with Kristoff equally. I
But
did
not
it.
at all. You mean?
I did it for that.
When I was younger, I really wanted to rip him off the cover of this book.
I
I'm
remember
still really
that.
tempted. I'm still really tempted.
I remember that.
Because he's pretty hot, and I hate it.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways.
I remember this being a thing.
Okay. So, yeah, whatever. They talk, and he was in love with her mom. You'll find it out 18 different ways this book. He was in love with her mother.
Which it's
Yeah.
just weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
I just, as an author, what would possess you to do that?
To make a love interest someone who's in love with the character's mother, I don't understand why, because it's in multiple books. I read it in multiple series.
Yeah, I can see why he has taken a vested interest in her well-being.
But she also apparently looks like her
fair.
mom. But like,
yeah, apparently
I'm
she
pretty
looks
sure.
pre-bloom. Because I did read this bit when I was looking for the species. I saw this. Maybe it's in the species thing. I think it actually is. It's in the species description. Pre-bloom, she looks kind of like her mom, kind of, but then post-bloom, her appearance changes and she looks like her mom.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been attracted to somebody with not an adult child, but with a child who, okay, I'm just going to not be creepy and say an adult child. I've never been attracted to somebody who has an adult child, but I don't know that were something to happen to said person who has adult child that I would immediately be like, well, you get to deal with my boner now. Like,
I gift my boner to you.
Yeah,
like for me, right? Like, you know how like when you're like 10 and you're watching a movie that was like made like 10 years before you were born or something, and you look at the like love interest in the movie and you're like, he's hot, and you develop like a little bit of a crush on him, you know, because you're 12, you're going through puberty, he's an attractive man, he's the love interest, It's what happens, PC cast. But anyway, then because you're about the same age as their children, because how the time works out, and their children are like almost spitting images of them, and you see their children as adults, and you look at them. I look at them and go, yeah, they're attractive, but I'm not attracted.
Yeah,
It feels
exactly.
weird to have a crush on the child of a person you had a crush on.
Yeah,
Most
like
people
it's
can't
actually
put that block in there. You
it's
can't-
actually
you have to do it.
difficult. Like it's difficult for me to find children of celebrities attractive, and by children I mean offspring.
Yeah, like
Who-
adult.
Who
Like
are
I just
adults?
Googled, like I just
It-
Googled
it-
Pierce Brosnan's kids, just to like kind of bring myself to think about it a little bit more. Like I Googled Pierce Brosnan and his kids because Pierce Brosnan was a specimen,
bad.
man. He was a man. And I just
There's a
Googled
reason why
his
he's
kids to like see.
Say that.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, no, at the kids.
Yeah, because it's not like about whether or not they're attractive. It's just because there's something. Hopefully, there's a natural blocker in your brain that's like, don't fuck kids.
Even if they're your age, if you still like know their parent, it should be a little weird.
Yeah, like not all of it. Like, I mean, like, okay. This
Like
son,
Googling Pierce Brosnan's kids.
yeah, okay, so one of them is, like, yeah, he's attractive.
Yeah.
But I'm not talking about this one.
No, not the one with long hair. Who else? There's one other actor I'm thinking of.
It looks like with the glasses and the jeans and the hair and everything, he literally looks like he teleported from the 60s.
Yeah. There's some other actor, I can't remember his name, who has attractive children, but
I mean, I will say there are some children of actors or whatever that I look at, I'm like, yeah, I'd bang. But they're generally ones that I didn't know that they were related initially.
same,
Or
exactly.
I didn't know who the parents were until after.
Yep.
that.
So you made the decision about the child.
Yeah, or like
Adults,
I'm not
whatever.
even, or if like I'm not familiar with the actor at all or something like that, then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. Like I'm glad we all agree that this is weird.
No, it's definitely weird, and Drew finds it weird as well. So we will find out. She finds it very weird.
And also, like it, because in a lot of like books with this kind of lore, right? We play with the age gaps.
Yes.
Vampire Diaries, Twilight, and
Literally anything involving vampires.
yeah, we play with
Yeah.
age. Yeah, we play with age gaps. And usually, like, I'm not gonna say it's because, like, I get it, it's weird, okay. But throwing out the fact that it's weird, it's usually not weird in that somebody wanted to fuck your mom.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But this just makes it like this just like throws his age to the forefront, and now it makes it like super fucking weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, because I will say as well, like, most things. Okay, we'll use Twilight for an example. Like, yeah, Edward's 100 years old. Like, he would have died of old age had he not vampired.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that their physical appearance doesn't manifest as an old guy, like Edward still manifests as a 17-year-old because he was 17. I think that makes, like, because a lot of people like vampires, like romance plots are so creepy because of the age gaps, but it's not creepy when you take into account, like I said, the fact that these people do not look like they should be dead already. They
Right.
don't look like it. It's not creepy when they look like they're 18 and they're going after a 17-year-old girl. It's not creepy. Especially like in some of them, like for example, Twilight, the mental development stage that you're at when you turn is where you're pretty much at.
Yeah.
Like that's why they can't make vampire babies because they don't ever mature.
Right.
They're incapable of it. And so Edward, yes, while life experience has matured him more than the average 17-year-old, he's still mentally a 17-year-old.
Right.
So with that, it's not as creepy when you think about it in that context as well. Like, there's a reason why it works,
also,
because it's not creepy because they don't look old.
yeah, but also Edward did not want to fuck Bella's mother.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I'm just talking about that.
The age, you're talking about age.
Right. And also, just like, look, we all just accept it as a part of vampire fiction because let's be honest.
And a lot of werewolf fiction as well.
Yeah.
Right. Because let's be honest, like, hot, mysterious guy who's way too old for you, but also looks your age is fun.
Yeah.
And who can blame you? But adding in wants to fuck your mom is fucking weird. And I don't like it. Hashtag don't stan.
Yeah, no, that just makes it creepy. Like, I honestly, like, even if I was dating like an older guy, like Six is only 6 months older than me, but if I was dating a guy that was like, you know, older,
right,
older, like, you know, that's one thing. But if there had been I went to high school with your mom and I wanted to bang her in school, I'd be like,
yeah, that's weird.
That's a deal breaker.
It's such a deal breaker.
That is all of the deal breakers.
Other Bay. We were talking last time about doing, because we'd have to do this as bad book. We were talking about doing the Vampire Diaries.
I'm game.
Are we down?
I'm game.
Okay. Because we have to do it as
there's
book.
so many Vampire Diaries books now.
Yeah.
There's like, I think more than House of Night.
But they're really easy reads.
Ow! Fuck!
At least the first couple are.
Yeah, the original quadrilogy was written by L.J. Smith. The rest is just a ghostwriter.
Well, we talked about this. I'll just repeat it for you real quick. We talked about it because, and like I said, I don't remember which one came first. It was our first book clubs were either in whatever order were Eve the Awakening, and then comparing the first Vampire Diaries book to the TV show. So it wasn't like a total breakdown, but we never actually went through and read the Vampire Diaries books.
13 books. I'm gonna have to remove.
Yeah, we've got. Yeah, so L.J. Smith, the actual L.J. Smith, only wrote the Vampire series because they're all broken into different series. And then the publisher was like, we want to do more. And L.J. Smith was like, no. And they're like, well, we own the book series and we own the pen name, so fuck you.
There's three different authors.
There's the Vampire Diaries original series, which is 4 books. Then there's the Omnibuses, which is, that's just the first series. Then there's the Return trilogy, then the Hunters trilogy, and then the Salvation trilogy. So there is.
Do the next ones like follow the show? Is that what they did?
I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
No, sorry. I think L.J. Smith also wrote the Return trilogy.
It says that L.J. Smith wrote books 1 through 7. Unknown Ghostwriter wrote 8 through 10. Aubrey Clark wrote 11 through 13.
Yep.
Well, it'll keep us busy for a minute.
26 weeks, technically. Half a year. Then after that, we can go back. We'll have to take a break when House Night comes out.
Yeah.
Child, I'm gonna...
When we do that, I'm just going to put the Vampire Diaries all in one playlist because...
Yeah.
Fuck it.
We'll get to... but then there's also... You forget one thing. Then there's also the Vampire Diaries, Stefan Diaries.
And the Secret Circle as well.
There's 6 of Stefan's Diaries as well. So there's 19 books.
And the Secret Circle.
What's that?
So after this series for the next year, we're going to be doing Vampire Diaries.
I mean, like I said, we could definitely do some of these in the same week.
Yeah, I vote we try and power week. at least.
Yeah.
Well, like the
Well,
first
now that I'm online, it doesn't fucking matter.
is it the it's
Well,
like
now
the
that we're
first,
all online.
yeah, it's the first like the Vampire Diaries, like the omnibus one. We could do that probably in a week. Like those books are short as fuck. Right?
Yeah.
Those are like little baby books.
Yeah, at least the first quadrilogy, they're all like the books are, the small size and they're only about that thick.
Nice.
Yeah, we could do like those all in a week
Probably.
and just knock it out.
We'll work it out after stream.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, back to this.
We need to get back to Betrayals. God damn it.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so
We
he
just don't
left-
want to talk about this book.
So he left some fancy sword things that are copies of her mother's swords in her thing. We self-reflect, that's that. We meet a wolf named Dibs. This is when Dibs comes and sits down with her, and then Graves sits down. She is sad that Graves has all these friends, and she is the glass female, the female made of glass. And no one wants to play with her. And Graves is like thriving, and she's like, my best friend is thriving. What do I do? I'm sad. Oh my god.
Oh, there's also been, I'm going to mention this now because I know by this point it's at least been mentioned and they do become major plot points. At this point, by the time we've caught up, like I think by this time in the book there's been 4 restrictions so far where like the alarms go off and she's like, oh, is this like a fire drill? He's like, it's not a drill. And so when the alarms go off, she gets escorted back to her room and like, protected in her little space.
Yeah.
While all the other people on campus, except for her and her protector, go and fight the Nosferatu that are invading.
Yep.
So it's a regular occurrence that the Nosferatu are coming to do an attack.
And that is actually what happens next, is the thing goes off, but her escort isn't anywhere to be found. But she sees her grandmother's owl, so she's like, I'm gonna follow it. And we smell oranges, which means the Nosferatu are around. God. Your hair is in my nose, cat.
Oh, has the hug thing happened yet?
With Kristoff?
No.
That happens later when they meet at the boathouse or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yep, okay. Never mind. We'll get to that when we get to that.
Okay, no.
Yeah,
Go
because
wait,
like
go
once
wait,
that
go wait.
happens, we talk about it for the rest of the
Yes.
Okay. So action. Ash is, yeah, she gets out. Ash is chasing her, and then we fight Ash a little bit, but then Ash kills some Nosferatu for her, and then
Smells her and Yates.
yeah, and then it's like over, and Graves comes and finds her and is like, everyone get away from my girlfriend. I'm taking her to the baths. Fuck you. So he picks her up and takes her to the baths.
And the baths are filled with not water that helps speed up healing.
Yeah. It's weird.
You're not allowed to forget that it's not water because Drew keeps referring to it as the not water.
I mean, this is the last time we see it, this book. So like I'll take it. And yeah. And so
it happened. She refers to it as not water about 10 times in the scene, though.
Yeah, you're right. So they like bond, and then she tries to kiss him, but he like turns his head, not knowing. So she kisses his cheek, and she's like, "God, fucking." She's like, "God damn it." Well, lol. Yeah, and then it's very awkward, and then he leaves, and yeah, and then. Like the next day, and then the other girl vamp who's the head of the order is like, hello, Kristoff is no longer in the order, and he is Sergei's son, who our big bad in this series is Sergei.
Yeah,
right.
And I was like, I forgot about that, so it tells you how relevant that little tidbit is gonna be. Then they think that Kristoff is responsible for Drew's mother's death, and so they go over some evidence.
Well, Anna is saying that.
Yeah, Anna's saying that.
Yeah, Dylan's not saying much.
Quiet. And Drew doesn't really believe that. She's just like, okay. And then she's like, tell us whenever Kristoff contacts you. And she's like, in her head, she's like, he already has, but like, yeah, it's working fine.
You know, Drew is sus on Anna from the get-go.
Yes. But then Anna leaves. We go to class. We have some internal about Graves. Ashley thinks someone's trying to kill her, and she's just kind of processing a lot. We learn about breaking people, torture. We explained that earlier. Can be reversed. We don't know how. And so then they leave class, and people start being a bitch to Drew. So Graves obviously fights them because I think it's Shanks actually that's being a bitch to Drew. And so Graves beats him up. It's great, and Drew helps, and yeah, it's really fun. We love beating people up. And so she smells blood. She wants to drink for the first time ever. So like Drew Graves puts her in like a chokehold, and then after she gets over the bloodlust, she's just like, hold me, man. And he's like, yes, ma'am, I got you. Yay.
Yeah.
We're blasting through this. We're on chapter 13 already.
I know, and but the funny thing is, like, we're an hour 15 in, and I think we've discussed the book for about 15 minutes.
Yeah, right. I feel like we've not discussed it, for more than 15 minutes. So then we do. Then we.
When
have
did
some
she find the
bonding.
note?
Oh, she's already found it. I just didn't write it down.
Okay, yeah. So she after the attack thing, she finds a note on the bed saying, "Meet me at the boathouse, a friend." And she's like, "Nope."
She's like, oh, it's probably Kristoff, whatever. Which, I mean, who else
Fair
will it
enough.
be other than the fucking apple pie bitch himself?
But it wasn't.
Yeah, but she did meet with Kristoff when she goes there.
Yeah.
Apple pie
That's-
bitch himself. It pisses me off to no end. I'm like, why does he smell like apple pie?
Don't know. Honestly, I mean,
Why?
We'll get to it more when they're actually at the boathouse, because as you guys know, I have words, but
Yeah.
I don't know how much of the weird descriptors are the character and how much is the author.
Yeah.
I mean, like, obviously they're all from the author, but I don't know if Drew's supposed to just be weird or if the author thinks that this is normal. Because if the author's aware that it's weird, but she wants that to be a character work of Drew,
I
can
think
at
she
least
does.
respect that.
I think
Okay.
she does. Because Drew smells things. Like it's one of her things. So I think it's just a character quirk of Drew.
No, I know, but it's not just the smelling thing, it's all the other descriptors.
Yeah, there's
We'll get to it.
No, we're here. She goes to the boat. Wait, yeah, we bond in the library with Graves, and then we jump out of our window, go to the boathouse, and none other than
Yes, and then,
Apple motherfucker.
yeah, Kristoff is there, and they chat, and she's like, "Did you betray my mother to your father?" And he's like,
And-
1, how did you know? And 2, no, I could never. How absolutely dare you?
Yeah, here, I'll say my rant real quick that I sent to y'all
Okay,
earlier.
do your rant.
Because
Please
mine's
do.
about the never harm your mother thing. I wrote down, I fucking hate him. He's like, I would never harm your mother. Yeah, because you were in love with her, so you're in love with Drew by proxy. You fucking idiot, bullshit, apple pie motherfucker. Literally, you wanted to fuck her mother.
Yes.
Yeah. And also, it is a good question because this bothers me as well. I just don't have a good answer. If you wanted to smell like apple pie,
How would you do that?
how would you
Just
do it?
bake a lot of apple pies?
Is there a cologne that lets you
They're probably. Let's go to Amazon.
apple pie cologne? Like, what?
I don't know.
There's probably a Bath and Body Works scent that sounds like apple pie.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like it would be more like a body butter than.
It does not exist on Amazon.
Like, it would be so much work to smell like apple pie all the time.
Apple pie body spray. Never mind, I found it. It's on eBay. It's by a
I
brand
know
called
that-
Eclectic Lady.
I know, but I feel like a body spray or a cologne would smell more chemically. I
Yeah,
feel like it would
it's not like he actually.
It would have to be he's gone to Lush and bought a bath bomb that smells like
They-
apple pie.
He
and bathe.
bathes in it every morning when he wakes up. But no, I don't think
Or
that's
I
the
get like a
case.
body butter.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case though. I think he just naturally smells like that. And I'm like, but why? Of all the things. Because at least Graves smells normal.
Maybe he gets his laundry done by a baker, and the sink is in the kitchen. Oh, sorry, the like washing machine and where they hang the clothes out to dry is in the kitchen. So the smell just
Wafts.
so wafts into his clothes.
Yeah.
It could be that.
All right, Mara, your rant.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, yes.
So, yes. So there comes a point where I think it's after the. Did you betray my mother? No, I could never. How dare
Yeah,
you?
it's when they're about to like part.
Yes, and then he puts his hand on her shoulder and she's like, he felt warm. And then he embraces her in a bear hug. And then she goes, I felt warm all over, like being dipped in oil.
Yeah.
How? How does being dipped in oil become the metaphor that, okay, not even did she choose to use that as a metaphor. She had to think of it. How does that pop into your head?
She was next to a deep fryer at the time.
There's
But-
a deep fry in the boathouse. Or the author was by a deep fry.
Like, okay,
That's all I got. Because otherwise, like, oil is not inherently warm.
No.
deep fryer. When you Maggie's not dead. He's in chat.
Yay!
Hi Maggie, by the way. But okay, when you're cooking with oil, it's not warm. You don't want to be dipped in that shit.
No,
It'll burn.
like, right. Like, because, like, even if oil is warm, you don't want to be near it.
Like, and I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Hot oil does not give me warm and fuzzy feelings.
No,
It gives me, shit
okay,
feelings.
like from a technical perspective.
Addie and I have cooked with hot oil.
It burns, motherfucker.
I mean,
Usually we're yelling.
And we're jumping away from the
Yeah. Like, we're not like, oh, yay, a Krug from Kristoff.
Okay, from a completely factual, like for like analysis, it's a flawed metaphor, just logically speaking. But also, when you want the feeling of being like, I felt like it was like trying to be like, he was warm, he made me feel warm all over. I felt safe. I thought that's what was supposed to be the thing that she was supposed to be trying to get across. How does being dipped in oil give you that image?
Why does it make you feel safe? I would feel like I'm about to be cooked, like deep fried, like like
Yeah.
chicken or something.
Like, danger, danger, danger. You
Yeah,
know?
I
Like,
would have.
I felt warm all over. Like, I was, like, the feeling.
I can find it.
This is bad. This is bad writing, but I'm not writing and it's not being published, so it doesn't count, so you can't judge me. Anyway, I felt warm all over, like I was standing next to a fireplace at Christmas. Something like that, but better.
Or as though or as though his touch had lit a fire within me that was coursing through my veins. Anything other than being dipped in oil. I don't understand what feelings he was trying to emote from that. I don't understand the metaphor from a factual perspective. I don't understand it.
Also,
I
being dipped in
forgot they
oil.
also spar during this.
Being dipped in oil just like gives me mental images of somebody being dipped in like kerosene to be lit on fire.
Or
This
I
is
can
the book. I have it right here. What's up?
All I can honestly, when I read that, I'm just like, so does she feel like she needs to shower?
A weird warm feeling, warm all over, like being dipped in oil. It was kind of like Dad's infrequent hugs when I'd done something really well, but there's something else to it. Dad hadn't smelled like apple pie, and he hadn't hugged me so hard my bones creaked and breathed into my hair. Christoph's breath was warm, was a warm spot on the top of my head. He tucked his chin to the side now, and his hands spread against my back. Blah, blah, blah. Then it hit me. It was safety. Christoph wasn't about to let anyone hurt me.
Yes, and apparently being dipped in oil gives her that emotion.
Can we talk about sentence structure real quick?
Yeah, that sentence I read, that I tripped over it because I was like, what is happening?
I just want to talk about sentence structure real quick. That my bones creaked and breathed into my hair.
Yes.
In that case, the bones are right now breathing into your hair.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I would have.
Her bones are breathing into her hair, according to that sentence structure.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would have added. He never between the end and the breathe.
And he never breathed into my hair. Yes.
Here's why I point these things out, okay? It's not to shame people. It is, but it's not. The reason why I point these things out is because people don't trust self-published books because they're afraid of sentences like that, okay? They're also afraid of finding things such as half-breed and things such as Damien the Gay from House of Night in self-published books. The problem is these things are in traditionally published books, okay? Self-published books are probably in that too. But my point is,
so many editors
that traditionally published books have issues too. Give indie authors, and I say this completely selfishly, give indie authors a shot. Bye. I'm getting off my soapbox now. And I only say that just because it's frustrating, simply because like you have all those resources like for fucking free. Why the fuck?
Yeah.
How does that happen? Who let that happen?
Publishers.
Razor Bill.
Yes.
There you go. That's who let that happen.
Boycott Razor
We
Bill.
go through so much to make sure that that doesn't happen to us.
It's also one of the Penguin group. I think I said that last stream around. I was like, I think this is a Penguin book. It is.
That's just really frustrating to me.
Like, because you've got, okay, because it's recommended that you use multiple editors for your book, right?
Yeah.
There's the editor, there's your continuity editors. They read through and make sure everything's, structurally sound, make sure you're not contradicting yourself, which apparently also still happens though. I can't remember what all of the editors are, but there's two main ones. There's that one, and then your final editor is the one that goes through and fixes your typos and your sentence structure issues.
Yeah, so there's
by the time it gets to that editor, it has gone through at least 3 previous editors.
Yeah, so there's a number of different stages. There's beta reading, which happens before any paid editing has been done. There's developmental editing, which is where somebody goes through and they're checking for continuity issues, like you just said, and that's what that's called. And then there's line editing and copy editing. So line editing and copy editing are 2 different things. Line editing is sentence structure, and they're super similar, or at least in the way that they sound, but they're completely different. So line editing is like sentence structure and style. So it's making sure that like your narrative and your prose are consistent throughout.
Yeah.
And that's what your line editor is looking for. Your copy editor is looking for any tiny little grammatical mistakes.
Your commas, your semicolons.
Yeah. But then the copy editor though also picks up if there was anything missed in the previous round.
Right.
It's supposed to.
Yeah. So technically.
And as a self-published author, you might have the luxury of being able to afford all the different levels of editing. But when you're going through a published, you shouldn't skimp out on editing, but you might not be able to afford it, in which case you should put off publishing your book unless, you feel good about it. But even then, maybe sometimes not.
Well, after the copy editor, there's also proofreading.
Yes.
And if you were to get all of the services done by different people, because you could also get a critique as well. If you were to get all of that done by individual people, just to, since welcome to the tangent stream.
Yeah, right.
That would cost you about $3,500 to about $5,000.
Yeah.
Per book. So it's very expensive to have all that done. Just to just to throw it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
However, like it is expensive. However, publishing houses have people employed where this is literally their job, and they do it with every book that they publish.
yeah, exactly.
That is why authors that get published through publishers get far less royalties, and also when they get an advance, their proportion of the royalties has to be made up before they get paid anything else from sales. Okay, but there is a reason why they get less royalties, because publishing houses have all this shit on staff.
Yes.
They have all the people on staff. They do your covers, your editing, or they do all the levels of editing. They do this, they do that. They organize all the beta reading. They get all of that done.
Right. So, so when you go through a publishing house, all that's organized for you. Now it is sometimes recommended if you're going through a publishing house, depending on what publishing house you're going through, that you get your own editors for this reason. But you have your cover art done for you. If you're self-published, you pay for all of that yourself. Yep. Part of the reason Addie and I are lucky is that I'm a graphic designer, so I can make our covers. But, we still have to pay for editing, and it's expensive. So, so go like a little easy on indie on indie authors. This shit's expensive. We don't have millions of dollars behind us.
No.
Yeah, but there's no excuse for it in this book. There's no excuse for it in House of Night.
No, not at all.
There's no excuse because these went through publishing houses.
Yeah.
And like also though, no matter what, there's gonna be one typo. It's gonna be in there.
Yeah, there's
always gonna be typos.
You can forgive the rare typo. You can forgive that. But when there's a consistent thing.
Also the rare wonky sentence. Like I know I went hard on that, but the rare wonky sentence is what it is. Like that's a thing that happens to everybody. And also it's a thing that even if 10 people read a book, they might miss it. That's something that can absolutely happen. Because you know what? There are 2 assurances in life, and that's taxes and death. If you're an author, there are 3 assurances in life. Taxes, death, and typos.
Yeah, and one thing to take into account, and this is the reason why in a well-edited book, the rare typo or wonky sentence will still make the final cut, is because you'll find as well they often happen in the latter part of the book, usually if it's a rare one, and that person has literally been sitting there reading all day, like just going through and going through and going through. And you know how like when you write a word like 10 times in a row and it eventually starts to not look right?
It just looks wrong. You're like, what are these letters? Like
one time I was, I think I was trying to wake Sticky up, and we weren't in the same place, and he was supposed to call me because he was away at the time, and I felt like he'd fallen asleep. So I'm like, maybe if I just like epically message him over and over and over again, the dinging will wake him up. So I was just texting his name to him over and over and over and over again. It was actually pretty funny. He woke up, he's like, "You're crazy." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but I wanted to talk to you. We didn't talk yesterday." And I got about a minute in, and I had to check his contact. I had to check his Facebook. I had to check everything because I was convinced. Because after I checked his contact, I'm like, no, his name still looks wrong. Like that might be how it's spelled.
Yeah.
That was me with Chapter.
I checked his Facebook.
Right? Yes.
And I still wasn't convinced.
Right.
Chapter is the word that always gets me because, the book that we are doing right now, Blackwood's The Outcast of Asmar, it has how many chapters now?
56.
No, it's more than that. It's like 59.
Oh, shit. Is it really?
It's 59 or 60 now.
Oh, you're right.
We upped it. Sorry, any beta readers watching this. We forgot to tell you that we've upped the amount of chapters in this book. And there's still chapters that we're adding into earlier parts. And like after reading the word chapter 60 times, is it even a word?
Yeah. And like the thing that we
What
do
does
to
it mean?
one of the big things that we do to self-edit, and this is both solo books and it's a little easier with books, with the Blackwoods books, is that we read them out loud to each other. And
we're like,
chapters,
this is stupid.
and chapters that we were like, this is fine. We don't have anything to do to this chapter. We read it out loud and we're like, what the fuck is that sentence? Because
Or we're
when
like,
you
what
read,
is this?
because when
What
you
is
read
this?
something like in your head, it sounds fine, and then you say it out loud, and you're like, "That is the dumbest shit anybody has ever put to page." Holy crap! So yeah, writing's not easy. Oh yeah, thank you, Maggie. You said the cover to BTOA is amazing. Do I have it on this computer? Don't I?
Bring it up.
I do.
More brief tangent.
While you're bringing it up, I'm gonna go grab another drink because my drink's been out for like an hour.
No, I didn't mean to open Photoshop while we're streaming. Oh God, that's not what I wanted. I'm sorry, computer. I didn't mean to ask that of you. Yeah, this is it. Okay, cool. Sorry. Yeah. There we go. That's the cover.
So pretty.
Blackwood's The Outcast of Asmar.
She's so pretty.
Here she is. I'm proud of her. I'm very proud of her. I'm excited. I'm glad we have her this early as well.
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
So that's nice. The other thing is that I feel comfortable saying this. We sort of have the covers for the rest of them too.
Yeah, I was thinking about saying it, but I was like, yeah, we have, yeah.
They're
already know what our
proto
favorites are.
covers, but
except for one of them. One of them's done. You're not touching one of them, and you know which one I'm probably talking about.
yeah, the last one.
Yeah, the last one's done. You're not touching that one because that one's just, it's beautiful. It's perfect.
There's a tiny adjustment that needs to be made, and you can't stop me from making it. But it's a tiny adjustment. Nothing else needs to change. Okay.
Is it any addition? What is it?
No,
You're gonna have to tell me this after stream.
I will. It's something you'll agree with if you look at it.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's that cover. But the last one's probably my favorite.
Yeah, last one's my favorite.
So yeah, that's that cover. I'm excited about it.
Me as well. Yeah. Okay, so back to it, guys.
Look, if we don't talk about other stuff, the stream will be 5 minutes long.
Well, and I'm waiting patiently until midnight because Animal Crossing comes out at midnight, and so the longer we take with this, the more time I don't have to just sit around wasting after we're done. So you won't see me complaining about being here. So Kristoff wants to get her to escape, and yeah, she finds she gets back to her room after, and she finds out someone had gone into her room.
Oh, wait! Before we get to that bit, is that the bit as well where Kristoff's like, "I don't even know why you're here"?
Yes, you're right.
So yeah, he intended for her to go to a bigger. Or was that the conversation with Dylan?
No, that's the conversation with Dylan. The conversation she had, he's like, "Why are you here? Like, I didn't ask to meet you." And she's like, "Oh, Dylan sent me that note."
Oh. Okay then. So the conversation about why she's at that school specifically is with Dylan?
Yeah, it's with Dylan later.
Okay, no worries.
So she finds out someone has been in her room, and I don't remember Kristoff leaving a lock of his hair in her room, but apparently he did because now it's gone.
Yeah, I don't
remember this either. But okay.
But we're here and it's happened.
I wish I had the ebook so I could just like search for hair and see where it happens.
Yeah, I guess it happened when Tap 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 Kristoff is back.
I know, but
God, those taps are so bad. Sorry. Tap 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 tap.
I mean,
yeah, it's much better to read.
I mean, as a narrator though, like part of me kind of I don't want to say this because I can't stand the narrator because she says music weird. And she says a lot of other stuff weird. But also, though, how I kind of can't fault her for how she worked with the tap, tap, tap.
Well, this is an author problem because you have to read your book out loud, okay? And if you're reading your book out loud and you read out tap, 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 tap.
I think in the audiobook it should have just been short to tap, tap, tap.
Or you could have just written down there was tapping outside.
Also, yeah.
I mean, the tapping is nowhere near as bad as the 5-minute long Jude Fest.
Yeah, no, that takes the cake for the worst thing that's ever happened.
I know, but honestly, it seriously sounded like sex.
It did. Jude.
Yeah, I remember. Oh, God.
The sound of, like, you know, a thrust with the word Jude. That was sex. Legit.
Oh, so it's only 4 taps. Wait, nope, there's more.
Yeah. Like,
4,
I think
5, 6,
I was
7,
like,
8,
there is
9, 10,
not only 4 taps. I was
I mean,
there.
11, 12,
the
13.
tapping in this book is also the triggering because of the last book.
There's 13 and they're all separated. But in last book there was like 100.
Yeah, no one cares about your fact checking, Addie. Okay, let us exaggerate.
I just
I'm not
have it. It's so easily accessible, man.
When we're not exaggerating about the Jude thing, I played it.
No,
It's
no,
for
the
everyone.
Jude thing is real. The Jude thing in the book, it's a graphic, but I guess they. Oh,
Like,
Carden.
you can't really graphic
Yeah.
for an audio book. Like,
Well, you can't, like, look, I've hired narrators. I know how this works. What you do is you send your narrator a script,
Yep.
and
the script would, in that context, would say something along the lines of, instead of Jude, 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 it would say it was just her name over and over and over again.
Yeah.
yeah, just have it say something different. You can adjust it for the audio version. Why does nobody think about these things?
Yeah.
Yeah, like in
Maybe
the,
it's because publishing houses have so many things to do that they just don't have time to give a shit.
I mean, like, okay, at the beginning of Breaking Dawn, we're going to Twilight now, people.
Again, we're back.
Beginning of Breaking Dawn, it's, you know how it starts off with the letter that Jacob wrote, and because he's a dickhead, he was like, you know, he wrote, "I hate you. How are you doing this? How are you marrying him, etc."
Twilight is another thing we should do officially.
Yeah, but then he kept crossing it out, and then he at the end was just like, "You're my friend, and I'll always love you, but I can't be around you," or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Like, but he sent her the entire crossed out sentences bit.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, Jacob's a dickhead. But anyway, the way that was done in the audiobook was it had the narrator read it out, but then for each new sentence that he crossed out, it was like he made a noise, I guess. Like, it was kind of like a groan to be like, "Nah, fuck that. That's not right. Try again." Type thing.
Okay.
So it had all the words, but he kind of acted it out a bit. Like
Yeah.
what Jacob would have been sounded like if he'd been saying that out loud as he was writing. And so, like, with stuff like that, like this, there are ways around it, and you can dramatize stuff a bit. Like, audiobooks are often semi-dramatized.
Right.
But when it's the same word over and over and over and over again, like with the Jude thing where it was like 50 times, Mabes don't make the narrator sit there. I honestly think that the narrator, like, the reason why it just kept getting faster and more exasperated sounding, or whatever the fuck it was literally because the narrator felt like a dickhead just sitting there going, "Jude, Jude, Jude, Jude."
Probably.
So, like, let's speed this up, and like, "Jude, Jude, Jude." No, we still got 50 more to go. Jude, 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 Jude. You know?
And then when she finally got to the end, she was like, "Thank God, this is the last time I have to say." And so it's yeah.
I honestly think that that's what that bit was, but or the narrator thought, "Oh well, let's just have some fun with this and make it sound like sex." Either way, I can't blame the narrator, and I kind of can't blame the narrator for how they read out the tapping in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this feels like an author/publisher's problem.
It is.
They should have changed the tapping.
They should
Yep.
have.
And that's a long way. That's a lot of words to just say they should have changed the tapping.
But they should have.
But they should have.
Okay. So Graves is now taking Drew on a run with the boys, and the boys are like, she's not gonna be able to keep up with us. You know, we're wolves, motherfucker. And he's like, no, this bitch, she legit. She'll keep up with us. And so they go on a run, and it's like really fun. And you know, they finish the run. They're like, oh shit, she can keep up with the boys. And like she's like, this is the like most happy I've been since my dad died. Like this is just it's great. She's very happy in this moment, and I was happy because it was with Graves.
Well, that's because the exercise gives you endorphins, and endorphins make you happy.
Yeah.
And happy people don't kill their husbands. I watched Legally Blonde recently.
Then we are talking with the wolves after. We're having some bonding with our wolfie boys, and I'm really excited about it. Can I help you, Kat? She just coughed, and I was like,
Ma'am?
yeah. So and we talk about like the night of the attack and everything, and Ash, and we learn that this is the school for the delinquents and the rejects, and so there's even more of the tone of like, what are we doing here? You know, like, you know, very confused. And Grace is like,
when they explicitly say that, though, I'm pretty sure that had already been, like, Drew already knew this because it had been said earlier in the book. I think it was when she was first talking to Dibs at the table. She'd already been told this because when I heard it and she was like, ugh, I was like, but you know this. So I know that it had been mentioned earlier.
I don't remember that, but yeah, I mean, that's totally possible that we already learned all this information. I think it's maybe that we just learned it more explicitly this time around.
Yeah. Or maybe this is the first time and then someone tells her again later and she's like, ugh. I can't remember, but I know she gets told twice and the second time she's acting shocked.
It's probably when Dylan tells her.
Okay.
Because when Dylan tells her, she does act very shocked. Which is about to happen. And so Graves thinks that Kristoff is using Drew as bait to figure out who the traitor in the order is. And she gets all pissed off because she's in the dark and she doesn't know what's happening, and that's totally fair.
But at the same time, though, he's like, hey, look, I'm going to send you to a place that I think is the place where someone's trying to kill you. So I don't understand why she also
Why do we like Kristoff? Exactly.
Like, no, but I also don't know why she's like acting like that this is a betrayal. Because he explicitly told her, I'm going to send you, your job is to find the traitor. And whether that's either through being paid or investigating, her mere presence will inherently make her bait.
But he did mean for her to go to a different school, at least to her face. So,
well,
I don't know.
I think behind the scenes as well, I did.
But she ended up here. But so she gets pissed off, goes away, and then Dylan's like, hello, ma'am, we need to speak, but not here because it is not safe to speak here. So they go somewhere, they go down like to the basement or whatever, and he's like, I don't know what's like, I don't trust anything that's happening here. You should not be here. You should be at the main school in New York City.
Where Kristoff wanted to send you.
Yeah.
And he's saying about how no one except those that are there knows that she's there.
Yeah.
He can't make any contact with the outside world.
Yeah.
August is missing.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least he's out of touch.
Yes, he is.
And things are fishy. And so he's effectively saying if you were to die here, no one would know.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Drew also, I thought that this was where my theory was going to start to be revealed, you know, in the book. Because then she starts to make thoughts of, that's weird. And why the hell would Anna come all the way up here just to see little old me, etc.? She started the train of thought and then she stopped. And I'm still, I'm hoping that that theory is confirmed or like explicitly confirmed or denied in the next book. Because if I have to wait till the last book, I'm going to be pissed.
I don't remember. I don't remember anything about Anna. Didn't even know she was a person until I reread this. And then we finally fully process the fact that our dad is dead, and it's just very sad. And then she's like, all right, time to escape. And the danger bell's ringing. She's like, oh, yeah, it's perfect timing. So she starts to run, and she looks back, and the school's on fire. And she's like, fuck, Graves. Shit, should I leave? Shit, no. And, like, she hears her grandmother's voice in her head of, like, that boy would never leave you. And she's like, fuck, you're right. So she goes into the burning building to find Graves.
She has two voices in her head.
Yeah, she has her dad.
The angel and the demon.
Yeah, she has her dad saying, no, get the fuck out of there. And her grandma's like, that boy would do anything for you. Don't leave. Yeah, I'm about to have to do the same thing. Switch over the AirPods.
Can I make noise?
Bay's going to have to get into nail polish, and I'm going to have to get into AirPods.
God damn it. Give me a sec.
Somebody buy a cover.
And then I need to go blonde. And then we'll all...
Yep.
Here at Book Club with Bay, we demand conformity, god damn it.
It's great.
And we'll have to coordinate the streams where we wear our glasses and when we don't.
I do have contacts. I can put, or I could just be blind. I'll have to like really get close to the screen to like read, or I can just pull up my notes on my phone and I can just be like right here.
Yeah.
Or you could just wear your contacts.
Or I could just wear my contacts.
So we all have things to do. We all have homework. I need AirPods. Bay needs to get into nail care, and you need to go blonde.
Yeah. Streamlabs is in the description on YouTube.
It is. If you'd like to fund all these ventures.
So
conformity is mandatory here.
Yes, it is. I already did step 1. I'm brunette now. So like step 1's there. I just gotta, go to the stylist and get it lightened. We're close, man. So Ash is going at her. He herds her out. She's reunited with Graves, and she has like inhalation damage. Fucking apple bitches here, kill me. This sequence, Drew was very in and out, so it's really hard to understand what was happening. Which I mean, I guess makes sense because we're in a first-person book.
Yeah.
But it was very confusing to read. She's just very in and out. And then Chris is like, hi, I need a drink. Hello, Drew, give me thine wrist. And like Graves is like, you get fucking near her and I will kill you. And he's like, I just have to do it. She's my little bird. I need to drink her blood. And so he does it.
And it's not pleasant.
No, it's not like House of Night or I think in other books it's very pleasant, but in this one it is not pleasant. No. She's very unhappy. And then she goes to sleep. We wake up, don't know what's happening, but Graves is in fucking charge, man. It's great.
Also when she wakes up, her other senses are gone.
Oh yes. Yeah, she's very, very drained. We find out that I think, is it Dibbs's family that has a bunker nearby?
I think so.
I think, yeah. So it's Dibbs's family. They live nearby and they have a bunker. And they're like, we should go there. And Drew becomes awake enough. She's like, no, they won't come after you because they're coming after me. So if I leave y'all, they won't kill you. And Graves is like, you idiot. They're going to do it anyways. You might as well just stay together. They get into a fight over it. And this is when she realizes that Graves is hot. This is a moment. This is it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, right? Okay. I keep on clicking on Animal Crossing to see if it's ready for playing, and it's not.
Yeah. And then Kristoff is effectively like, no, we need to get you back to the school that I wanted you at.
Yes.
There'll be more people. We're going to make a big scene when you get there, so everyone knows.
We also start to learn. We hear the concept of bonding, which is essentially imprinting, I believe. But it's nixed immediately, and they're like, we don't talk about that shit. No. And they're like, okay, well, good. So Kristoff did not bond with her when he drank her blood. And there's a chopper after them, and it could be a good chopper, it could be a bad chopper, but Drew just hexes it and it falls out of the sky. Now we're in the compound, and Kristoff's there, and he's like, all right, we're here. I'll send in Graves. And he kisses her, and it's very nonchalant. It's just like, I felt something warm against my mouth, and then it left, and I was like,
Which could be anything, let's be honest.
did he just like pull out the schlong? Could be that. It could be he just went like,
he could have turkey slapped her face. Like, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
he could have put his cheek, it's not clear. Also, at this point, I thought she had made out with someone by this point, but she still has not. I think it's next book. I hope to God it's next book, because it's been 2 books of a love triangle that has not done anything. Like
It's
her
a
and
love
Graves.
triangle that hasn't triangled yet.
Yeah, so like her and like this next scene is like she wakes up and like Graves is in bed with her and they're cuddling, and this is essentially when they profess their feelings for each other, but not outwardly because they're teenagers. And teenagers aren't just like, hi, I have feelings for you. Sup? They're like, do you like Kristoff? And she genuinely, honestly is like, no, I don't. Because she thinks about like when he sucked her blood, and she's like, yeah, no, the hard-on's gone. Not feeling it right now. And also he knew my mom, so like, yeah, no, not really. And she's like, I'm holding out for someone else, and he's like, oh.
Yeah.
So it's the high school way of saying, hi, we're in love. Cool. So we get ready to leave. We leave. We got our wolves. We got our apple boy, and we're leaving.
When did they get Ash?
They're about to.
Okay.
So Graves and her have a cute where he's like, stop trying to leave me. I'm never leaving you. We're in this for the long haul, ma'am. And she's like, okay. We have road trip shenanigans and people arguing about playlists and stuff like that. It's a nice little human moment in the middle of all this. Get to the safe house. The men have, a little testosterone match, and she's like,
Yep.
Graves, why'd you do that? And he's like, so he knows. And I'm like, yes, Graves, yes. Love it. Wake up. We have a bedroom. Wake up in Graves' arms. Now there's something outside. It's Ash on the roof. We rescue Ash. And then she's like, we're taking him with us.
Yeah, so Ash is like hardcore sedated right now.
Yes. And she's like, we're taking him with us. And Kristoff is like, over my dead body. And she's like, Graves, back me up here, without remembering that this is the wolf that turned him. And so he's like, yeah, fine, fuck it. And she's like, oh, this is a sensitive subject. We don't have time to unpack all that. Let's get Ash in the car. So they're in like.
And I will say as well, Lily St. Croix seems to be a very pro-American car.
Yeah, they're in a Dodge Dart. Let's say they're
but
like
then, but she
sedan.
even says, Drew even thinks, if we were in one of those imports, there is no way we would have fit. And it just keeps, and like there's multiple references when they're in the car where they're like, thank goodness we're in an all-American car.
That is generally true. American cars are bigger.
Okay, well, like the first statement, yes, but then like collected with all the other statements of like when the chase scene happens and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, thank goodness we're in an American car, just over and over and over again. It's just like, buy American.
She was also raised Southern. And
yeah,
that
like
is the Southern view.
I'm
just telling you
saying that it's
why.
a wrong point of view. Like, I love a lot of American cars. My dream car is an American car. But just saying, observing that the author seems to be very pro-American car.
Which, yeah. Yeah, so they're in like the back seat. So it's like her, Dibs, and Graves in the back seat with Ash laid across them, Kristoff in the passenger seat, and Shanks is driving. And they start driving away. Kristoff like hangs out the window looking back like freaking movie style and start shooting at wolves chasing them. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
And
will say the
then
action scenes in this seem to be a lot funner than the first
they
book.
are. They are.
Like the first one kind of had no idea what was happening in any of the action scenes.
Yeah.
Whereas this one had like, you know, Hollywood blockbuster style action scenes in it, and they were reasonably well written, reasonably not great, but better.
Then we get to the new big school and end scene. That's it.
Yep.
We have more like road trip arguing on the way.
And
They end
the thing
very
that
fast.
confused me though was Christoph was like, I'm gonna make a huge scene when we get to the new school to make sure everyone knows that you're here.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get there and he's like, okay, I'm out, bye. I'm left.
Yeah.
I'm like, where is the scene?
Kristoff's shady. Kristoff is just a shady dude.
But again though, I don't know if that this is a Christoph fault or an author fault. Like there's so much about this that very few times, right? Like, okay, so like with House of Night, it was very clear that Zoe was flawed because the authors are flawed.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that
true.
was this uptight bit, like self-righteous, hypocritical bitch, because that's what the authors are. That's an author problem. With this one, I don't know when the character flaws are actually character flaws or just author. And I don't like being in the unknown. I like to know when a character's shady because they're shady, or if it's just because the author forgot that the character was supposed to do something. Like, I don't know if Christoph not making a scene when they got there like he said he would. I think it was just the author forgot with that because everyone's still running out. I don't know.
Don't know either.
But yeah, and I also, again, don't know if Drew's a fucking weirdo because Drew's a weirdo or because the author's a weirdo.
I think Drew's a weirdo. I think Drew's just a weirdo. Christoph thing, I don't know.
I don't know, like, I just still can't get past it. I felt warm all over, like being dipped in oil. I don't know if that's a Drew thing or an author thing. I'm hoping it's a Drew thing. I can live with it if it's a Drew thing. If
I
it's an
really
author
think
thing,
it's a Drew. I'd have to
live with
read her other books to know if it's an author thing. But I hope it's a Drew thing. In my brain, it's a Drew thing.
that. I'm really hoping it's a Drew thing because I can live with that.
Yeah, you're right. Christoph's just like, all right, we're here. Yeet, I'm going down an alleyway. Bye, boys. I mean, we might see the big scene in the beginning of Jealousy.
I distinctly remember him saying that he's going to make a scene when they get there because he then explains the reasoning behind it. And I'm pretty sure he says it at least 2 or 3 times. And I was waiting for it, and then he yeeted it, and I was like, did I miss it? I went back 5 minutes in the book, re-listened, and I'm like, did I lose concentration again? Went back 5 minutes again, and it just never happened. I don't know.
Maybe it happens next book. Because they didn't even talk to anyone yet, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he just yeeted before anyone came outside. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I don't know.
But another school
maybe where he fucked off to was he was running inside the principal's office. I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking, but I don't remember. I just remember the next book is titled Jealousy for a reason.
Okay, so like if this book was written like 10 years ago or whatever, okay, so we were still in the MySpace era. Like we were starting to go into the Facebook era, but we were still in MySpace. So maybe he was going to go and post all over MySpace and maybe Facebook and maybe Bebo or whatever the fuck the other one was called.
Be like, I have a girl damn fear.
Yeah, she's here. But if you are Nosferatu, please don't read this. I don't know. Maybe they have what's it like? Companies in intranet. Maybe like there's a order intranet, and he was posting it all over the intranet. I don't know. And I don't know if it's just because Christoph is a flake or if because the author just forgot.
Oh,
And I don't like living. I like to know who to be angry at.
yeah.
Because if it's Kristoff, I could again like a lot of this stuff. If it's if the character's being shady or if the character's just weird or whatever, like I might not like it, but I can live with it. And if the author's forgetting, I would like to know so I can rail against the author. I can't do either because there's plausible deniability for both of them.
Exactly.
But yeah, so pretty much the book started with her going to a new all-male school to find a traitor. The book ends with her going to a new all-male school to find a traitor.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's all male again.
Yeah. Well, the schools are for people that like for Dampiers or / the girl ones that haven't yet drifted or bloomed or have only just started to drift or bloom.
Yeah.
So they know how to do a thing. And for teenage werewolves or new wolfen or new whatever the fuck with gurus.
I hope I'm not wrong when I say I think she blooms this next book. I think she does. I think we'll finally get somewhere. I hope she does. I think she finally makes out with someone next book. Those are my predictions based on my very vague memory.
Yeah, so at the end of this book, I'm kind of just left sitting wondering what the whole point of this book was. Was it literally just to rescue Ash? Like
The Book of
the
Nothing.
first-
Welcome.
The first two should have been combined, I think. At least.
Honestly, I'd be
Maybe we'll
much
throw
happier.
jealousy in there too. We'll find out.
Honestly, at this point, yeah, the first two books could have been combined and it would have been a more compelling book.
Yeah. Real quick, because I just looked it up. The Secret Circle, because I forgot about this, was actually a show. There was a season of it. And Haley from, Vampire Diaries original.
I watched that show.
She was in the Secret Circle originally.
Okay.
So I feel like if we're going to do it, we have to do it.
Okay.
Yes. Oh my God, I remember this show. Jesus Christ.
Oh, the chick that plays Haley is in. I saw an ad the other night when I was watching Maths for a show where like she's drank the Fountain of Youth or whatever it is, and she's trying to convince her husband to or something, and he won't, and then it turns into a thing. And I'm like, that actually looks kind of interesting, but I still hate her talking with an American accent.
Her talking with an American accent is painful.
Well, because she just talks so slow, and like it's like she puts you can feel her intentionally pausing between her words. I think that's the biggest thing with it.
And it's mostly her R's that she has a problem with.
To be fair, when you're raised with not doing hard R's in most places, unless like it's like, for example, raised has a hard R and you can't work your way around that. But it's very hard to intentionally make an R hard when you've spent like the first 20 years of your life or more.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I understand that. It's just a thing that
it feels so awkward. Sometimes I accidentally do it, and I think partly it's from talking to you guys and partly from my daughter because she has an American accent for some reason. Honestly, she has the most American, like not like a more generic one. Like she's got the generic American accent, and we don't know where it's come from. I don't mind it. I don't hate it, but it's just weird. And we also know that she edits words that she's never heard with a hard R at the end to add the hard R because she did it with Santa. Santa ends with an A, but because we end Santa and, for example, the word tiger with the same sound, she started doing Santa with like an ER sound at the end.
So Santa?
Yes. And we had to tell her, no, it's Santa. And now she does it properly. But she's editing words that she hears in an Australian accent to pronounce them with an American one. So we don't know where it's come from. it's funny because one of the things that Stixie has said about why he would be a bit cautious about, or he's a bit, unsure about whether or not he would ever move to America is he doesn't want his kids to grow up with American accents. Not because he doesn't like America, but more because we're Australian.
Well, oh well.
And it's like,
You
well,
got an
too
American
bad.
kid somehow.
Yep. It's happened. And we never even had to leave the country.
Well, okay, so next week we are doing Smoke Bitten, the 12th book in the Mercy Thompson series.
Yay!
It's going to be brand new, and this is where our spoiler warnings are actually going to be relevant. Oh my god, for once.
True.
Yes, we will have to. I think we should repeat that, especially because with Twitch, because the streaming goes all funky and everything with Twitch and everything. And yeah, I think we should say it a few times throughout.
Yeah.
You
And
can put it in the Twitch title too.
yeah.
Spoilers.
And after that, we'll be doing the third book in this series, Jealousy. And then after that, we'll be going back to the Shifter series.
Yeah, because we've done the first two, or have we done the first three?
First two.
Okay.
Yippee.
I'll have to.
Or are
give
y'all
you a
finishing a book?
refresher on those.
We're finishing a series.
Series that
Yeah.
y'all
And then doing the sequel series.
fun.
It's going to take forever.
It's 7 books plus a novella. And the novella will be done at the same time as one of the books. So I think it's like a prequel to the novella.
Yeah. So that's what's up. And yeah. So as always, updates are on the website and everything. So just check that for all that fun stuff. And we will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.